This is a true love story. I hope you can patiently listen until the end. The boy came from a poor family. He got through university by working part-time and living frugally. The girl, on the other hand, came from a wealthy family. They first met on the sports field. The girl unexpectedly got her period, staining her white skirt, but she didn't realize it and continued chatting and laughing with her classmates. The boy saw this, blushed, and took off his shirt to tie around her waist. That moment was unforgettable for the girl. What followed was their 4 years of deep, intertwined love. The girl tried to help the boy, but he refused. After all, how could a man accept help from a woman? Upon graduation, they were supposed to part ways, but the girl was determined to follow the boy. Her family opposed this and almost turned against her, but she was convinced that this was the man she wanted. The girl had a precious jade bracelet given to her by her mother. When they moved to a small town and saw the poor conditions, she took off the bracelet. In a place like this, there was no need for such a thing. Soon, the girl got pregnant. When she experienced severe morning sickness, the boy went to the nearby mountains to pick apricots for her, but accidentally slipped and fell, severely injuring himself. This fall almost destroyed their future together. The boy became paralyzed, and everything relied on the girl. Her parents wanted to bring her back home, knowing that a life in the small town would be predictable and tough, but she refused. To pay for his treatment, she sold her precious jade bracelet. They lived a poor life in the small town, with the girl working as a middle school teacher and the boy translating books at home while recovering. The girl had long lost the pride of a city girl, lowering herself to do everything, haggling with vegetable vendors and buying cheap clothes. The doctors said her husband might never walk again, but she insisted on massaging him every day for years, hoping only to prevent his legs from atrophying. At 35, the girl heard about a doctor skilled in acupuncture, but he lived on the other side of a mountain. She borrowed a flatbed cart and every 2 days took her husband over the mountain for treatment. In wind and snow, she struggled forward with a hunched back. The boy, seeing her back, cried and said he never wanted to meet her or love her in the next life because her love brought her too much suffering. Miraculously, a year later, the boy's legs started to regain sensation and he slowly began to walk. At the same time, a paper he had written won an international award, bringing many opportunities. He began to travel and give lectures, sharing his life in a wheelchair and the story of the woman behind him. No one had expected such a turnaround. A Frenchman offered him a high-paying job to lecture for 3 years. The boy hesitated, but the girl encouraged him to go. By this time, at 36, the girl showed signs of aging with gray hairs and wrinkles. Her clothes were always out of fashion, and she had gained weight, looking nothing like her former self, while the boy was at his prime. Some worried he might not return from France, but the girl wasn't afraid. She said if their love was still that fragile after all they'd been through, then it wasn't love. 3 years later, the boy returned on time. His first task was to fetch the girl from the small town. He didn't tell her his exact arrival time, wanting to surprise her. To his surprise, she was there at the train station. Overjoyed, he asked how she knew which train he would be on. She replied that she came to wait for him every day. This time, the boy said he wouldn't let her love him in the next life because her love caused him too much heartache. The girl replied that love has always been bitter. If love is like a lotus, then the most beautiful love is the one that grows from the heart's bitter roots, producing a beautiful lotus flower. Today's story ends here. If it touched you, please share it.